It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
You're the
for having
first
me.
person that's like from the work world.
Right. Okay.
I've never had like a coworker or anything. Usually they're all friends or like friends of friends that come on.
Mhm.
I've never had a coworker. And I wish I was in better spirits today. I wish I was in better spirits.
Oh yeah.
We had some tragedy has struck.
There was some bad news around 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. Tuesday,
3 p.m.
August 9th.
Yeah, Eastern. So we're throwing we're interns at Access Communications,
Yep.
right? You're on the academy team.
Yep.
I'm on the partner marketing team, I think,
Mhm.
and we're throwing a little bash for the people that
Tomorrow.
actually work there tomorrow.
Yep.
And we've been planning this out for a while, and the
Mhm.
only idea to make it from the inception to now was the dunk tank. My idea. I was so excited about this damn dunk tank.
It's true.
We ordered it. It's been ordered. And then, weeks go by. Weeks. It's finally locked
I know.
in. It's been a while. And we get an email today. Groundskeepers, grounds crew.
Yep.
The city says,
Yep. Town of Chelmsford.
yeah, we cannot use the outside water source. So what the fuck is a dunk tank good for without water in it?
Exactly.
You know what I was thinking actually, Mike, though?
What's that?
So we don't have a water source technically, right?
Mhm.
But I'm so sad. I should just fill it with my tears. And I think there would be plenty.
There would be plenty. There'd be extra.
We'd be like, where do we put all this? Do we have some drainage? We need extra drainage in the area because of how fucking sad I am.
You could tell Chelmsford. You'd be like, we're not in a drought. Like, I have plenty of tears here.
Drought. Excuse me. I have tears
Yeah.
everywhere. So that's other than the tragedy though. I'm really excited for this episode specifically. I think this is 72.
72. Okay.
That's a lot of episodes.
It is.
It's a lot of people.
It really is.
And so, do you want to just tell the people who you are? Tell people who you are, where you're from, how you know me, why you're on the podcast. I'll let you I'll try to shut up as best I can. Go.
Sounds good. All right. So Michael Lynch from Drake, Massachusetts.
Legend.
I go to the same school as Dan.
Yeah,
I
right.
found that out
How
literally
crazy is
after
that?
we started working together.
Yeah, crazy.
I probably have seen you so many times, but I wouldn't have recognized you. Of
Seriously.
course. I mean,
Yeah. Why
I
would
didn't
you?
know you. Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
I probably walked past you like 15 times.
Yeah. Yeah, who knows? Maybe more. We could have had a class together. We haven't
Yeah.
even done like the research on that. We
I
could have
know.
literally had a whole class together.
Seriously.
Crazy.
Going into my senior year of college. Pretty exciting time.
Very.
Yeah, I pretty much lived in this area my entire life.
Now you're working in the area too. Even
Yep,
Chelmsford's very
exactly.
close too. You
I
know?
work and go to school within a half hour of my house. It's kind of crazy.
Do you
It's a
ever
little
feel?
sad,
Do you feel the
but
need to
hey.
get out the bubble?
I think I do, for sure.
You've traveled though, haven't you?
I have. I've traveled a decent amount, yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't really left the only place I've been outside of the country is Bermuda,
Oh.
which is, it's a beautiful little island, but I've never really been to, like, Europe or
Yeah.
Canada,
Right.
Mexico. I've never really,
Not even outside of our own little country here. You
not
gotta
really,
get-
no.
Not even not across like the oceans. You haven't even been
No.
to Canada and Mexico.
Nope.
I've never been to Mexico. I think that's a place I want to go. You know why though? I have a really weird reason.
Why is that?
So you know how like in the U.S. there's like there's people here. It's like a melting pot here. You
It
know,
is, yeah.
there's a lot of like it's mainly white people, but like there's a lot of going on. Like
Yeah, yeah.
you'll run into like an Asian man born and raised in the U.S. Perfect diction. All
Mhm.
they know, like you wouldn't even immigrants were like three, 4 generations prior, completely assimilated to America, more American than me.
Right. Yeah.
But they look like Asian.
Mhm.
I want to see a fully ingrained and ingratiated Asian man, or Indian. I mean, India's in Asia. Indian, Oriental, even a black dude. I want to meet someone entirely ethnic towards like a different ethnicity
Uh-huh.
in Mexico, living
Okay.
the life of a Mexican,
Oh, right.
and just being completely Spanish. Like a little Asian lady,
Yeah.
little Chinese Asian
You never
lady,
really think of that.
spitting Spanish at you.
Yeah,
I
right.
think that would be a mind-blowing
It really would.
experience.
Because you don't really think of that.
No.
Like, we see that all the time here, but you don't think
Yeah.
that happens anywhere else.
Yeah.
You don't really think about it.
Because
You know what I mean?
if I said think of a Mexican or think of a African or think of
Mhm.
you think of the most common
Right.
person
the most
in that
stereotypical
area.
thing you could think of. Right?
Yeah, the most stereotypical thing you can
Mhm.
think of. Is that bad? Maybe, maybe not. But
Right.
it's what I do.
Mhm.
So I wanna see a little Asian lady, like really just going like puta. Like I wanna see like them talking some shit in Spanish. Like I think that would be sick. That would be really cool.
It would be.
But
it'd
you
be
need
kind
to.
of funny too. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
it would be hilarious.
Right at the beginning, it'd be hilarious.
I wonder if I'd laugh in their face though, because that's disrespectful.
I probably wouldn't. Afterwards, I would laugh.
Yeah.
Like, oh my voice is cracked. That's
It's
brutal.
okay.
It's brutal, but
It's my first time
fine.
ever hearing your voice crack. You're very like.
Like monotone.
Yeah, I wouldn't
Like
even
mellow
like
voice.
toned voice. Like you don't
Right.
like. I feel like in order to crack your voice, you need to like, be like,
Like
stressing things.
and you'd like exclaim a lot.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't do that much, so you probably never crack your voice. Your voice probably never cracks.
Yeah, it's not really often.
That was the
Maybe
first.
a few months. But whenever it does happen, it's brutal.
Because your voice is deep, you know.
Exactly.
So it's really tough. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
No, it's
interrupted you.
fine. No, I'm saying in the moment it would definitely be funny. I mean, I wouldn't laugh, obviously, in
Right.
front of them, but
Right.
I definitely would be like caught off guard. I'd be like shocked, and then
Yeah.
afterwards, I'd be like, "That was pretty funny." Like,
But what an experience,
yeah, exactly.
you know. Or like even like go to Ireland, see like, again, I hate to use Asian as my example. Let me say like a little African lady or
Yeah.
a big
And she
African
just
man,
has like a thick
Irish
accent.
brogue, you know,
Like loves Guinness.
loves Guinness,
beer.
you know.
Loves like anything
what else?
you can think of with
Potatoes.
Just loves potatoes.
Potatoes all day.
Corned beef and cabbage.
Totally.
Just loves it. Eats
St.
it like
Patrick's
once
Day
a
is their
week.
favorite holiday.
Yep.
All green,
Uh-huh.
you know. That'd be sick. Like that'd be
It would
like,
be.
it would be really cool. I think
would be.
that's the real definition of a culture shock in a lot of ways. Like
Yeah.
you know, like that's the most shocked I could be. Like obviously I think I know most types of civilizations out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, there's like tribes, there's uncontacted tribes
Yeah.
out there.
There is.
They just like have never seen or talked to like
Yeah,
people like,
exactly.
that are like living like a social media internet
Mhm.
based society. So that I know that these things exist.
Mhm.
The things that I don't really think of is what the real culture shocks are.
Yep.
You know. So obviously now I've thought of this scenario where like I run into someone that's looks one way and is a different way. But so maybe that wouldn't be as shocking because I've thought of it so many times now.
Right.
But there's probably some other things that like you just never think of. Those are the shocks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those are the shocks.
Yeah. Speaking when you said like tribes and people that haven't like made contact
Yeah,
with a lot of
right.
humans, the one that comes to mind, I remember I read about. It's like a pretty popular one. It's like North Sentinel Island or something
I've
like
never
that.
heard of like a specific one.
It's near India. It's in the ocean. It's in the
Wow.
Indian Ocean, I think. It's
Is
near
it?
like the Philippines or something. I don't know.
That would make sense. It
It's
has to
like
be on an
it's a
island.
very very small island, and the people there like they've never made contact with anyone outside of the island. They like will attack you if you go anywhere near it. You know what I mean?
So I really think that these people must just see planes and think it's God or something.
Yeah, like they must think it's like supernatural, when in reality it's just steel.
It's just
steel.
steel with like a lot of juice.
Exactly, it's steel and just gasoline. That's what
Planes
it is.
are real crazy.
They are, honestly. I've been watching so many YouTube videos recently of just like planes just like taking off, and I've been watching like videos of like people talking about planes that have gone missing, crashed in the ocean,
That's
things like
weird.
that. They're planes that just disappear and they can't find them. It's like, I mean, it makes sense because the oceans are huge and a lot of it are unexplored, but
Yep.
it's ridiculous to think about.
Don't they have those black boxes though? Like, aren't we supposed to be able to find every wreckage technically?
Yeah,
And then, but it's just a flawed technology. It must
exactly.
be.
Yep.
So I feel like everyone has the idea. They probably they sold it on the idea of like 95% of the time we'll find your
Right.
whatever, your plane crash.
Mm-hmm.
5% blown up, you know, like obviously like 100 plane crashes probably happen like a year. I don't even
Yeah.
know, probably more than that. I have no idea how many plane crashes happen
It's
of like planes that have black box. I'm not saying
Exactly,
like
yeah.
local private
Right.
planes probably don't have that shit.
yeah,
But like commercial,
like commercial airlines. Yeah.
maybe less than 100. I have no idea what the number is on that. Should I
feel
look
like-
that up?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Go
I feel like it's probably like when you think about how many planes are flying in the world every single day, the crash rate is definitely so low. Like I don't
Yeah,
really
right?
like flying is crazy and it can be scary, especially if you're in like in a rough storm, turbulence, whatnot.
right.
But like whenever I'm in a plane, I truly think to myself just to like so I don't get like nervous or anything, I literally think to myself, I'm like, the odds of a plane crashing is so low, especially a commercial one nowadays.
Right.
Am I that unlucky? And I'm like, probably not. Literally, I just think to myself, and I'm like, I'm probably not that unlucky.
And like, and I'm pretty unlucky, but
After
I'm not,
today.
but I'm not. Yeah, right. Tears. So it's okay. So I'm looking at it right now, and it's looking like median. Okay, so before 2020, we're gonna look at these stats because COVID 2020, 11 crashes. 11 commercial U.S. air carriers. U.S. Okay.
Per day or per
11.
year?
There was 11 total commercial crashes.
Ever? Is that what
in
you're saying?
2020.
Oh, in 2020. Okay, yeah.
But the thing is, the problem with 2020 was like, obviously, no one was flying.
Exactly. There wasn't many planes even taking off.
Yeah,
so
motherfuckers wasn't flying. And
Exactly.
in that, 0 fatalities. So apparently a lot of these crashes aren't even that fatal, from what it seems like.
Yeah, I feel like
Accidents,
most of them aren't.
Accidents.
I mean, they have to be pretty brutal.
Yeah, fatal accidents, it looks like there's less than one a year. Fatal. Accidents in total, about 40 plus, about 30 plus, it's looking like. And it's getting lower and lower as time goes on.
Yeah, it makes sense. Technology advances, stuff like that.
I wonder if that's more about less flights total, or I'm not going to look this one up. We're going to make this up. We're going to make up our own answers.
Okay.
So, do you think that is more about less flights total, or do you think it's about better technology with the planes?
Probably better technology, because I mean,
Yep.
you see, like companies like Boeing, I mean, the biggest plane manufacturer, right, in the world. Like
Right.
they had some problems. Like I said, I was watching YouTube videos about like a plane that crashed, and there was like a Boeing. I don't know what the technology was, but the plane completely flipped over, and like it couldn't flip back over. Like it was just heading. It was upside down and just heading towards the ocean. I mean, they couldn't do anything about it. And, I mean, they probably got a lot of shit for that. Right? I mean, of course. I mean, everyone's dead on the plane. The plane's gone.
Right.
But, yeah, like, I don't know how long ago that was, but I'm sure after stuff like that happens, obviously, I mean, you would hope a company like that with that amount of money would, like, put the time and the resources to fix something like that so it wouldn't happen again. But then again, you never know.
And that happens every time. Like, every time there is an accident, hopefully they are mending that. So theoretically the technology would advance as accidents happen. I'm gonna just argue opposite just cause. Okay. Even though I'm probably side with you, I'll argue the opposite. In a world where like the virtual shit, especially nowadays,
that's
is becoming more and more popular. People can talk without having to go someplace.
Yeah, you don't have
and
to
that's
travel.
been a thing for a while. Like even just the invention of the phone call.
Exactly right.
Probably maybe not cut down the total number of airplanes because now it's just easier to fly than it was back then. Like it was more cost. Now it's more cost effective. There's like more flights, whatever.
Exactly.
But I would still say like the ability to make a phone call cuts down the necessity for planes like tremendously.
You're probably right. I mean, when you think about like people who are traveling for work, a lot of people don't have to do that anymore.
Oh my god!
I mean,
especially now.
Yeah, but like
past like 3 years.
I mean, people obviously are still doing it. There's still a large amount of people traveling for work to different conventions, stuff like that. But if you're just going somewhere for like a meeting, even if it's not traveling far, it's like Boston to New York, you can literally just log on your computer on Zoom. Someone just pissed.
I doubt it. I don't think anybody's home. Maybe it was just someone home. Did you hear someone come home?
I heard a kind of a bang. It
door?
could have been a door. I don't know. I didn't know if because you were also doing something on the table at the same time.
Right.
So it could have been that, or it could have been someone opening the door. I don't know.
We'll say someone's home. It would make sense for someone to be home by now.
That would
there's
that
5
would
people
definitely
in the
be.
script,
That would make sense.
That would make sense. Someone just took a massive deuce.
Oh yeah, and it's literally right above us right now.
And it's now it's swung by us.
Yeah, it's gone now.
I hope it like comes through, and then this is my poop. That's gross. That's disgusting. That's many times too. Like that's the funny
It's in
part.
the Merrimack River now.
It's in the Merrimack now. Yeah, I mean, it's not our problem anymore. It's the Merrimack's
it's out of our control.
problem.
We'll never see it again.
That's why I'd never swim in the Merrimack.
No.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Couldn't be me.
I don't even think I'd go on a boat. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, if you're on a good sized boat, maybe
Are
like
you
a
a boat
speed
guy?
boat. I'm really not. No. So here's
I'm
the
not
thing.
either.
I never liked being in the ocean, like far out in the ocean.
Freaks
I mean,
me
I don't,
out.
I like going to the beach, going in the water, but I don't like venturing out.
Freaks me out too.
Yeah, I could be on a boat in like a lake. Like I went out on a lake in the water. Not the first time, but for the
Mhm.
first time in a long time, probably 14 years, on the
Wow.
4th of July up in Newfound Lake in Bristol, New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the cleanest lake in New Hampshire. It's like top 15 cleanest lakes in the country, maybe the world. No, I think it's like in the country. Yeah, it's a good size, but the area we were in, pretty small, not a lot of waves, so I'm fine doing that. But yeah, I don't really like going on the ocean on boats,
For
no matter
you,
how big they are.
what is it? What is it about the ocean
It's
that does it for you,
just
or that
it's
doesn't
just
do it for you?
terrifying to me, honestly. Like I'm not no like it's a lot of people don't like being on the ocean because they get sick, like seasick. But
yeah.
it's the motion. Like
Right.
it's not even the motion for me. I can handle that.
Mm-hmm.
It's just being like terrified that something will happen
Yeah.
and the boat's gonna just start sinking.
No, I'm
or
in the-
something like that. You
I'm
know
in
what
the
I mean?
same mindset. I just feel like when you're that far out, these people go far out.
Oh my God!
You know, they go out
My
there.
dad has a lot of friends. My dad likes boating, but he has a lot of friends who go out, like off the coast of the Cape,
Yeah.
like a couple hundred miles
Like,
to like
that's-
fish, and I'm like,
Why?
yeah, that like to them,
Stop.
that's literally what I think in my head when I hear them talking about it. I'm like, why are you doing this? Like,
It reminds me of like it's like if I take a run. This is how I feel because maybe it's because I don't understand boats and I don't know how to drive one too.
Exactly.
I don't know I'm not very familiar with the ocean. I don't know
Mhm.
what the chances of things happen. Maybe it's all
It's
that.
probably-
It's my ignorance.
Yeah,
Probably my
yeah,
ignorance
exactly.
making me insecure. Cause I think if it like every time if a boat goes 100 miles out,
mhm.
I think
That's
of it
far.
like a run. Like I wouldn't go for a run over. I wouldn't go a distance away for a run. I wouldn't go stray away over 2 miles, cause I need to be able to get back. Like,
Exactly. You
No
wanna-
matter what. Even
you wanna know
because
your
even
way
on a
back.
boat, once you're 100 miles out, boat fails, you're fucked.
You're screwed.
It's
I mean, of
over.
course, you have like satellite, and other boats can like pick up. Like you can go on the radio, be like Mayday.
Yeah.
another
but
boat,
what,
but-
what are we doing here?
Exactly. You
You
know how
know?
long it's gonna take for
I
a
don't want
boat.
to call like if I'm on a run. I don't want to be 10 miles out.
Yeah.
Break a leg and be like 911. Like
Yeah,
I want to
right,
be able
exactly.
to, if a worst case scenario, like I feel like if I sprain my ankle 2 miles out,
Yeah.
I could get back.
Yeah.
I could get back. It would
Yeah,
be
yeah,
tough.
yeah.
It would be
It'd
painful.
annoying, but it's
I
not
could
like
get back.
it's not like you're on a broken leg and you physically cannot get
Right.
back.
And if I'm on my boat and whatever happens, I don't even know what could happen on a boat where you could still get back. If I'm on a boat and like an engine goes out, or like
Right.
part of an engine goes
Yep.
out, but you at least it's like all right, we're only 10 miles out though. We're only
Yeah,
5
yeah.
miles out. We can get back.
Exactly, but
And
100,
a mile is so far.
it is for boating too.
Like you're going so
100
far.
miles. So you think about this.
Why?
From here to New York City, driving is about 200 miles. So 100 miles.
That's to Connecticut.
It's like Hartford, Connecticut. Thinking about taking a boat from here to Hartford and then trying to that's how
That-
far away from the coast.
Inside my stomach makes me sick, thinking
It-
of being that far away, and if tragedy strikes.
Oh, I know. Then it's like the panicking. It can get bad. For
Even
sure.
if I was 10 miles out, obviously, again, this would be a legit stretch. I might be able to swim back.
Yeah,
It would
I don't-
ob- it would
it would be taxing.
It would
when
be
you're-
so taxing. You'd be treading water the whole
Oh,
time.
yeah.
You'd need. I mean, I'd bring like a plank, maybe like some
Oh, yeah,
floaties.
yeah.
You
That-
gotta
that'd
have.
make
some-
it better.
You gotta have that. That'd
Of
make it way
course.
better. If I had a floaty, I'm hunting.
If you didn't have that, you might be screwed.
Yeah, you'd
honestly.
probably maybe die. But if 10 miles out, you give me a floaty, at least I know I'm okay. I'll make
Right,
it
right,
back.
right.
Maybe
Yep.
a shark will get me first, but I
Yeah,
doubt it.
That is another terrifying thing about the ocean. There are
Sharks.
so many creatures you don't know what the hell
Yeah, like, some of them are weird looking too.
they are.
You ever seen the one that looks like an alien that like has those really stringy legs? I've shown 1,000 people on my podcast.
You want to show me?
I got it. Yeah, it's the sick. I think it's like
I've probably seen it.
I think it's the closest thing to aliens we're ever gonna see in person. Alien looking
Alien-looking
underwater thing. I mean, it's bound to pop up.
Oh, probably.
First
Yeah,
picture.
you found it right away, of course.
Okay, we're gonna do this.
You're probably not the first person that typed that exact
You
same
see
in.
this
Same thing in.
on the right? This
Yep.
picture.
Yeah, I've seen that on
How?
Joe Rogan.
Yeah. What the fuck
I've seen
is that?
I'm pretty
dude?
sure. It's insane.
And I know that's like probably deep ocean. Like,
Oh
don't
yeah,
even fuck
that's
with
like
it.
middle of the Atlantic. 30,000 feet down. No one's ever gonna come into contact with that thing.
Yeah, but I ain't.
The fact that thing exists and it's out there, it's nuts.
I don't fuck with that.
No,
you
I
know?
don't. No,
Like,
I don't ever want to see that thing.
you know what? How it eats? It drags. It's like 30
the
foot.
tentacles thing, whatever you want
And
to call it.
it picks things up off the ground, and it reels them in into like its little belly, and just like
That's
starts
disgusting.
sucking it up from like 30 feet away. It just floats 30 feet above the seafloor, dragging its tentacles, grabbing shit. What kind of psycho shit is that?
It's fucked
That's
up.
nightmare fuel.
It really is.
I can't do that. So just knowing that exists,
And it could be under your
it
boat.
could be right under my boat, or like just any shark in general.
Oh yeah,
any
sharks.
whale. Those things are
Yep.
huge. Whales are so big.
They are. They're massive.
The
And
biggest
especially,
creature that's ever lived, right?
and they
The
can,
blue
like,
whale.
I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
that might be the largest creature that's ever lived.
Isn't a megalodon? Or no, isn't it bigger than a megalodon actually?
Yeah, way bigger. Way
I know
largest
megalodon's
creature.
massive. I mean, that's
Megalodons were
like a few-
like-
it's like a few school buses.
I
No,
think
don't know if
a
it's that
megalodon
big,
is still probably like what, 40 feet, 30 feet.
but- Yeah, it's like 2 school buses or something. I
Yeah,
don't even
blue
know,
whale
something crazy.
about 100 feet.
100 feet. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put that in perspective. That's like what, a quarter of a football field, right?
Yeah,
Football field's
it's a
100
third of
yards.
a third of a
Yeah,
football field.
yeah, a third.
100 yards to 3 feet per yard.
Yeah.
That is. It's just like I can't even begin to think of the size. It's about. There's about like 3 school buses, two
Yeah.
and a half school buses.
That's insane. A school bus. School buses are big.
Those things are huge.
They are.
And like to get it's as much weight as 15 school buses.
How much does a school bus weigh?
A lot.
A lot.
I don't-
That's all
honestly,
you really need to say.
I should
Fuck
probably
that.
stop doing this. Oh, look. Ready? Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that whale.
That's it.
That's what it is. And then these are like people over here. That's a person.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's just disgusting. Should I put this picture up when I should probably let me save this image. I can put
it
it.
up for the
I'll put
people.
it like. I'll put it
Edit
there.
it in.
Yeah, I'm not editing in the alien video, the alien picture.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
I've
You've probably shown it.
I've shown
plenty
it
of
like a
times.
million times.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this thing is fucking.
Yeah,
done, really.
honestly, that's probably what's happening right now. And honestly, we probably lost people doing that.
They
people
heard that and
clicked
they're
off.
like, I'll tune into the next one. I don't even. This Mike guy seems cool, but I don't give a
This
shit.
Mike
They're
guy,
gonna talk
yeah,
about
nah.
this fucking fish. I don't give a
This
shit.
fish again. This fish. Well, I'm just so convinced. It's like I don't know why. I think when something happens on the table, like
I'll pick it up next time before I open
yeah,
it.
I appreciate that. You understand how this works.
Yeah.
See, you
I've never
understand.
done a podcast. I still kind of. I mean, when you watch as much podcasts as I have, you feel like you just seem to understand.
Yeah, like I just that's why I felt like I just kind of like knew what I was doing as soon as I kind of hopped in. I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna. I mean, the first episode was specifically rough.
Right.
Rough.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, I literally, because I made a decision. I was like, I just got to start recording it. I just got to start
Yep.
doing it, or else I'll never start. It's
Mhm.
never gonna be perfect. Life's like traffic, but traffic that never slows down.
Yep.
So if you're waiting for the highway to get empty, fucking keep waiting, pal. It's never gonna
Exactly.
happen.
Yeah.
Hop on. Quickest you can get to your destination is to just get in the traffic now.
That's true.
So that's what that was my mindset when I started. So I just click record, and like it was me and my boy, and he helped me out. He came, thank God, good man. And he was just like, yeah, like we just shot the shit for like 50 minutes, whatever.
That's really all it is.
That's really all it is,
You
yeah.
shoot shit.
And that was the basis of it. That's definitely the core elements of what I still do are still there.
Mhm.
But I'm just so much better at it now, and I got the headphones. I got like these mic arms, which are nice
Yep.
because you can bring it back
Yeah,
and forth. I have my camera. I use my phone now, which is way better of a camera.
Really.
It's
What
not
camera
even
did
fun.
you use before?
Like probably one that you'd use for like micro meetings. Like it's like
Right,
a,
it's like a little
this
webcam.
big little
Oh,
webcam.
right. Okay. That's probably definitely better.
Way better.
I mean, what iPhone is that? I mean,
12.
Yeah. Then yeah, that's definitely better.
Oh, you're getting a call. You can answer that.
My dad's
answer
calling.
that. Answer that.
I don't know.
For sure, answer that to father. Your dad. You
Yeah.
know?
It was. What a dickhead. Interrupted us. No, I'm kidding. Love him.
Yeah,
That's a
your
joke.
dad's got to be the best guy in the world, I bet.
Yeah, he's great.
Are you his prized possession, you think?
Maybe. No,
do you have,
I think
do you have siblings?
I have a half sister.
Is that his daughter?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. So it's
she's
like
older.
So you're split, like 50-50.
Yeah,
like.
she's 33.
Okay.
And 21.
Yeah, that's a big gap.
It is 12 years.
It's a long time.
It feels better now. Like, it doesn't feel as bad now because we're both adults.
Yeah, once you hit adulthood, it's all the same.
Back in the day, it was strange because she was in college and I was in, like, I don't even know what. Let's see. I was like
12
8.
years.
I was like 8.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was in 8. She was in college. I didn't even know what the hell the world was.
You were probably
going.
6 actually. She was 18.
Well, yeah. I'm just thinking like.
And you were also 8. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was
she was a fifth year.
Word.
Yeah. She was a fifth year. So
wow.
she graduated when she was 23.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, you were youngin'. That's a big gap, but it's not the biggest gap ever.
No, it's not.
One of my friends, I think it's like and it makes sense because like half sisters. That definitely makes sense.
Yeah.
I think one of my friends has like might be like a 16, 17 year gap. Not half, just straight up just a gap.
Wow.
Which is interesting, you know. Like,
at
least like the half, like definitely makes it
makes sense.
More sense. But yeah, it's like a big gap like that. But it's like without any interrupt. There's just like they just had that gap, which I guess happens for some people.
For sure.
I just don't see because my sister's 5 years older than me. But even with just that 5 years, my sister is almost like a second mother to me.
Right.
It's not so much. So I feel like for like a sister to be 12 years older than you, it's probably that second mother feeling like.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Now
it's kind of equalish.
Yeah, but it's still. I definitely still feel that a little bit.
Yeah, like you'll ask her for advice.
Yeah, because she's seen so much more things. I mean, 12 years is a lot. She's 33. I mean, 33 is like, it's young, of course.
Yeah, but you're a vet.
But you're definitely like getting up. Like, the next milestone's 40, and that's like a big.
Right.
That's like midlife.
I feel like, yeah, if you were to split life into like a bunch of different areas, I'd say like, till you're 18, you're really a rookie. Like,
exactly. Yep.
And then from like
you don't know what the hell's going on.
19 to like maybe 26.
I know people. Well, I don't really know people, but there are people out there who are 60 and still don't know what the hell's going on.
True, very true. And like 19, I think to like 26, 27 is like it's like almost like second term, like second year, sophomore-ish feeling. Right. And then I feel like from like you're 27 to 39, you're still youthful. But like you're a junior, you're an
upperclassman.
Upperclassman. Yep. 40, it's like you're 40 to like probably 65. It's like you're a senior. You've seen some shit. Like you're in there. 65 plus 65 gravy.
Plus. Yep.
You graduated.
Yep. You graduated.
Some
make
people
it past
haven't. 65.
Some people haven't graduated, and they're a fifth year.
Oh my god. Yeah.
They're a permanent fifth year.
I think of like a lot of the people that are like like presidents of ours, like 2 of them.
Yes.
In a row. Old as shit.
Literally, they can't even like speak. They're like
crazy.
The debates are like comical.
It's
like
hilarious.
It shouldn't.
Both of them. Like,
yeah, like
when
you think about a presidential debate, you think like you're gonna tune in, you're gonna hear some interesting things. You're gonna be like, okay, this guy. Yep. Okay, that guy said something good. Yep. I think. But now, like 2 years ago, those debates, it was funny. Like you're turning on, you're gonna laugh. You know, you're gonna laugh.
Crazy. Different times.
Yeah.
Different times. And I guess that's probably, honestly, in any other time period, I feel like there's no way Trump ever wins. But I think people, like, I wonder how many, like, meme votes he got. You know?
Probably a lot.
How many people just were like, all right, well, I got nobody else, and he's funny, so screw.
Exactly, right?
I bet, because in no other time period would that ever fly, I don't think. I think nowadays, like, with the internet, the clips and all that, that was his only chance. And it still was alive. Like, he could probably win again, which is crazy to me.
He could.
Only, for me, I don't know nothing about policies, really. It's only because he's old. He's too old, I think, in my opinion. Yeah. My humble opinion, to be president.
Him and Biden are both too old. They're ancient. They need to, like, get out. Like,
ancient.
They're ancient.
They are.
There needs to be term limits for everyone in the government. Like, we just need to get the boomers out. Not all of them.
But a good amount of them.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the old ones.
Yeah, like Nancy Pelosi and all these people, like, they don't go away.
You can't be past, like, the expected age of death.
Exactly,
and
right.
be it, like, allowed.
Like, what's the average age of American right now?
like what, 79?
It's probably 80, maybe 80 now.
And
with,
they're
like,
both
more
81,
modern
aren't they?
medicine.
Aren't they? Am I wrong? Is Biden 81?
Biden's in his 80s. Trump, I think,
79
is
maybe?
78, 79.
That's still
That's,
old as
that's still
shit.
old as hell.
That's like you're barely there.
You should just be playing golf.
And like, you know what? You made it. Good job. But you're done.
Just go away.
What does that guy know about me and you? About our
Absolutely
life and our
nothing.
21-year-old life?
Nothing.
Nothing. And it's okay. And I don't know nothing about him.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
wouldn't
for
put
sure.
me in office neither.
No.
What I would do is maybe someone's like 45. The fact that like if a 60-year-old president came around right now, we'd be like, wow, what a breath of fresh air.
Yeah,
That's
he's younger.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it is. Wow, he was born in 62. Wow.
Oh my God. Think about when these guys are born. When was Biden born? 40s?
40s. Like, my dad is 60. He was born in 62.
And like
He turned 60 this year.
Yeah, my dad's like 57, turning
Yeah.
58. And like he's like old. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like, he's a little older. He could probably he definitely couldn't run a country, but
No.
he's like he can at least somewhat relate to me a little bit because he has kids at that age.
Exactly.
Like Trump's like grandkids have passed that age.
I know, literally. His grandkids are how old? I don't even know.
I don't know. Old probably. Or like, even if they are our age.
They're probably...
How much do you know about your grandkids?
They're probably
really?
a little younger than us.
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah,
Not
whatever,
like
though.
14, 15 years
But that's
old.
crazy.
It is.
Like you don't know much about your grandkids. So I don't know. I feel like maybe younger's I don't care which party wins. Do not care. A little younger next go, please.
Exactly, for sure.
That's the next swing. I just want to see someone with like some like real like youth, like no crags.
Yeah,
I want
no.
the face of the country. That's why Obama was cool, because
Yeah.
like he was youthful.
He was.
And, like,
he had like that.
hip.
He had like that way to him where he was like I'm coming here and there can be like some changes.
Yeah, it
Like
just felt
you
like
felt that way. Like it was like, oh, there's this younger guy coming in after Bush,
yeah.
and it's like he seems to be going a different way. Was
Yeah.
that the case? Probably.
Who
not.
knows? Who knows?
I don't think anything really changed.
knows?
I feel like this country's kind of a joke at this
No,
point.
shit's just the same.
It's
on
just
repeat.
like I don't think it's gonna get any better. Like we're just kind of like when you look around at like news articles nowadays, like they're like funny.
It is
It's like a joke. Like back in the day when you saw something bad, I feel like I don't know, but I feel like maybe in the 90s and the 80s you saw like a news article or like a news story of something bad. But the news back then, I feel like the news has always been like bad. It's always like leaning one way or the other.
Mhm.
But back then, I feel like it was better. But nowadays, it's just like hilarious.
hilariously like biased. and
Hilariously biased, hilariously
opinions.
like stupid, like the things they had to talk about.
opinions
is,
are
like,
news now.
Exactly.
It's because like what? Who was the first people to do it? I think CNN was the first people to do 24/7 news. I think it was them. They did 24/7 news for the first time. Like
Yep.
and that wasn't always a thing.
Yeah.
And it was like
everyone does it.
revolutionary. But now there's a billion outlets all doing 24/7,
Yep.
doesn't stop all day long. They're making shit up. They're making shit up just to stay alive because people will watch it all day.
Exactly. I don't know how people do it. It's insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that'll be me one day. Who knows? You know what? We ain't the news.
Yep.
We ain't the news. We're better than the news. We talk about fun stuff here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
We
what I
just
mean?
shoot the shit. We don't talk about like if you downtown earlier, a group of people got mowed down. It's like, okay, no one wants to hear that. You know what I mean? Like
It's always so depressing.
I know. I get. You have to say that happened because it's like a terrible thing, and you want to say that.
Yeah.
But it's like you turn that on, you hear that, and you're like, Jesus God, forget
must-
it. You
yeah,
just you flip to the next channel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to hear this.
For sure. I feel like there's probably more room for good news, or just interesting
Not
shit.
even good news. Just exactly. Just interesting things.
That's what podcasts are, I guess.
Exactly.
Now,
That's why podcasts are taking people. A lot of people now are ditching the news and they're just watching podcasts.
It's their form of entertainment, and that's why
Exactly.
podcasts are cool because you learn and
But you
you're
also can
entertained.
laugh.
At the
You
same
also,
time.
Exactly. Like Joe Rogan's great. Like
Great
he
for
has
that.
people on who are great in their field. He will
Which is
talk
amazing.
about things. I'm not saying everyone he has on is going on there and they're going to say fact after fact, but they're going to say things that they're strong in. Like they do a lot of research. They have a lot of
Probably know
strong
more
opinions.
than me.
Exactly.
That's all that matters.
And obviously, like a lot of Joe Rogan's podcasts, like you go in there to learn things, but some of them he has comedians on and different people and like just icons, musicians, and they just
Right.
shoot the shit. Like they have fun.
It's a good time. It's
Yeah,
very
for
lighthearted. I think it's a good lighthearted thing.
It is.
In like a world that's it takes itself so serious sometimes.
Exactly. Yep.
It's either taking itself too serious or it's like trying to be too funny.
Exactly.
It's just this
you
constant.
You need the middle ground.
You just need to be just be normal. You know, that's what
Exactly.
normal life is. Like a little interwoven. Like you're learning shit, you're laughing, you're crying. Just it's life. It's very like balanced.
Yeah, it is.
And there's no balance anymore.
There isn't. No, there isn't.
But that's okay, I guess. I don't really care too much. I don't watch the news, and
that's why I get my news from the Tim Dillon show.
Oh, shout out Tim Dillon, like he needs it. But yeah, shout out Tim Dillon. Tim Dillon show's amazing.
It's incredible.
It's,
like I truly will. I'd rather. Like I trust him to get the news per se, like what's going on.
Yeah.
Than turning on Fox
For
or
sure,
CNN
for
or
sure.
even just the local news,
Yeah.
Channel 5, Channel 7, whatnot.
Boring ass shit.
Exactly. Like he will, and not just him. There are plenty of other people who do it too. Like Joe Rogan's done it too. But there are plenty of podcasts that just go out and they will say what's going on in the world, but they're also like. They're not going to make it super depressing either.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to say what's going on, but they're going to make fun of it. They're going to make you feel better about it.
Yeah, yep. And just like smaller things. Like there's another podcast out of Medford. It's called The Urban Product. It's
Okay.
like some of my not like my friends, but like I know these people. I know who they are. I don't know if they know who I am, but I know who they are, and I always supported them because it's Medford based, and they do like hip hop news and like they talk about like hip hop and pop culture and like just shit going on like more central to like like just fun like culture stuff.
Yeah, of course. It doesn't always have to be stuff that's like politics and
whatnot. And that's way better through like these kids than it is through like I don't know, like music reviewers and stuff like that. Like these people that are kind of in it for $1 or whatever. These people really are interested in the art and like in the culture, and they mean something to them. And I just think that like there's just better ways of finding pretty much any basketball podcast is probably better than First Take, with Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith's just like forcing it.
Exactly. All those ESPN shows now.
They're just forcing it. But these podcasts are like real people with real agenda, just their own
real
experiences
and stuff like that. Yep.
Typically,
they don't have to answer to this guy, the CEO, the chairman. They don't have to worry about if I say something. Oh, is that guy gonna reprimand me? Is he gonna fire me? Like you just talk about stuff.
They can be successful.
They can be open.
It.
They can be honest.
It's fascinating. It's much better. I think it's like an underratedly amazing step in the right direction.
Oh, of course. Especially they're so popular. The amount of podcasts that are just.
And that's another thing. I remember when I first started the podcast, people were like, "Why? Like, there's 1 million." And I was like, "Right, that's true."
It is.
At the time I started the podcast, I looked it up. I found a video, like some guy was like, "Should I start a podcast?" And he made a good point. He said, "There is the amount of podcasts there are right now active is about less than 1% of the total active YouTube channels."
Right. Yeah, because there's so many YouTube channels.
Right. So many.
Billions of them.
And a lot of them, even the active ones that have over like if you have over like 15,000 subscribers, like sick. That's very, I think that's really good if you ask me. Like, you're doing something. Sure. You're doing something. You can work with that. You can move up.
Yeah, you have people who are actually tuning in.
Right. So any fan base whatsoever is huge.
Yeah.
So they, but there's a certain amount of those. But if there's only 1% of the podcast, and I think a podcast serves a very similar purpose. It's like a YouTube channel in a lot of ways. They're like niche, and like, you can go back to them over and over again. You can subscribe to them. They're very similar in those ways. So there is that much potential. There's like a 99% potential not yet unlocked for podcasts. So I was like, so there's really no bad time, No. It's kind of like the people that probably said like when Bitcoin was at like 5,000, like $200. They're like, all right, well, it's already gone up this high. No way it goes up any higher.
Yeah, now it's like what, 40 grand? I mean, I don't really pay attention to that stuff, but it's probably like
20. No, it's 25 right now.
25. That's still a lot.
A lot more than 200.
Exactly.
Yeah,
when people were buying it for 200, like, what are you doing? You're spending $200 on something like that, and all of a sudden now they're flipping it and they're making like
oh my god, you just pick something and then like believe in it. If you pick something, just believe in it.
Yep.
But yeah, enough of that. I wanted to talk about what we were talking about over lunch when you first when we had the first conversation about you coming on the
last
podcast.
week. I think
Last
it was
week.
Thursday, maybe.
Yeah.
I think it was Thursday.
Quick turnaround on this.
Yeah.
Very quick. Way quicker than
less
usual.
than a week.
I've had people ask me months ago. Nash never got.
Really?
You're just, it's easier for you because, like, you're local.
Exactly,
you know?
I live, 10 minutes from here?
Yeah,
It's
and
like,
we have the same schedule. So
exactly, yeah.
at least for the next few weeks. So, like, it makes it a lot easier to get
Yeah.
you than most people. But, yeah, we were talking about, what was it? It was conspiracy. We were talking about the pyramids.
Yep. And what the fuck happened there? Because
So-
who the hell knows?
So, if you were to just say what you think was the most likely, you know what language we're gonna cut out right now? We're gonna cut out this language, but I don't know. Who knows? I'm probably wrong. Get rid of all that
Okay.
right now. I want, at least for this next bit, I want you
Yep.
to say what happened. If someone were to ask you right now, how are the pyramids made? Give me the best possible answer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because you have to pick one.
You see, it's hard because I have like two different things. Obviously,
You know what? I'll let you do both.
Okay.
You can go both.
Obviously, the aliens is the big one, right?
Right.
They had something to do with it, but
Right.
but that one is very far fetched because it's just. It's
You know what?
hard to.
I'll take that one.
Okay.
You go with the other one.
And the other one is just those poor people were just getting slaved bad, and they
Right.
just had to, like, when you think about each of those blocks on the pyramid, obviously, like, how many tons? It's over a ton. I know
Well,
that.
I think it's like literally like through two tons. something
2
like that,
tons, yeah,
maybe,
like
per block.
yeah, like those people could have just been getting slaved, like hundreds of people on one stone, just carrying them to the desert, 100 degrees.
Thousands of years.
But yeah, and that's possible, but it's also like, how the hell did they build them up in that way where they're still around?
Right.
5,000 years later, or whatever, 15,000 years later, whatever the hell it was.
I don't even know when they were made. We should know. We should know that.
Yeah,
That-
we should look that up.
That we should
for
look
sure.
up. When were the pyramids?
It's like 10,000 BC, that's my guess. I'm pretty sure.
All right,
that's
that'd
my
be
guesstimate.
great. If it's around there, I'd be very proud of you. We are talking from roughly 2,500 BC,
Okay.
which is not bad. Not a bad guess.
No,
for you
not bad.
whatsoever.
So
I probably would've said
5,000
something.
years ago,
somewhere.
almost. 4,000.
And they're
500 years
still
ago, something like
chilling. Like,
that. And they're still
know,
in
like
great
they're
shape.
up.
People climb them, and they take pictures on them.
Like, that's crazy.
It's
Isn't
like,
it true that like no one's been inside of them?
I don't know.
Or like they don't go inside, like, because you have to break shit to get in there. Like, there might be some shit going on. Because that's the real intricate part of it. Obviously, building it up straight is impossible in its own way.
Yes.
There's like labyrinths and like
Yeah. There's
shit
like
going on
tombs in
there.
there's like different passageways. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell?
It's weird, you
It's
know.
insanely weird.
And why pyramids?
That's also a good point.
Like, why?
Maybe they're pointing up
Towards
in
the
the sky
sun?
towards their god. Maybe or
Ra,
the
the sun god?
Could be.
Could be.
It is insane because the technology we have nowadays, we can build things like the Empire. I mean, when was the Empire State Building built? Empire State Building 100 years ago. Was it less than
Less
100?
than maybe in the 60s.
It was probably the 10s. It could have been 100 years ago. I don't know actually.
1930s.
1930s.
March 17th, 1930.
Yeah, and that's an incredible. All the skyscrapers are incredible things.
Incredible.
But back then, 4,500 years ago, to
Oh my
build
God.
that out of 2-ton blocks of what is it? It's like stone, sand,
Limestone. I think it's like
yeah,
limestone.
like how the hell they didn't have cranes, or did they?
Did they have cranes?
Or did they?
That's
And
another
they're gone.
thing.
4,500 years ago, those things could be gone, buried. Can't see them anymore.
One. What should I say? One block.
One block. Yeah, look up how much a block is. 2 tons. You said.
2.3 million unique stone blocks, which means that one block must be laid every 5 minutes. Okay, hold on. Now this
We're
is an
getting to the
article
thick of
right
it.
here.
We're getting to
This
the
is
thick
an
of it now.
article for
Right.
sure. Great Pyramid of Giza is 2.3 million unique stone blocks, which means one block must be laid every 5 minutes of every hour, 24 hours a day, for the full 20 years that it was being made.
That was like my point. People were just getting slaved.
What is the issue? Each brick is at least 2 tons in weight. So I said 2 tons, right?
Yeah.
You said 1 ton. And it's
said one,
pretty
you said
much
two.
the same thing.
Yeah.
You said over
Yeah.
1 ton. Every
It's
day
still
for the
heavy as
next
shit.
20 years, 1,764,000 pounds of stone will be placed. That's almost 200 trucks. The effort would be impossible without technology today. Modern machinery can lay out 2 to 3 times as many blocks in the same time, with 6 to 7 men working on each side. It takes only 20 years to finish the job. Wow. So they're saying like we could like kind of do that now. Is what they're saying. Like,
Yeah, we
maybe.
could do that now in 2022. They did it in 4500 BC.
Wow.
Like in the middle of the desert. Right?
Wow.
Like in the middle of the desert. I mean, it's not in the middle. It's right outside of Giza. It's right outside of a city, but it's the desert. It's fucking sand everywhere.
I don't know what I think anymore. Because they're like perfectly cut too, you know?
Exactly, right? I mean, they're perfect for the time. I mean, yeah. I mean, look at them. They've been around 4,500 years. They're basically perfect.
They're
right?
basically perfect. And at the time, I think they were white. The thing with the you know what they used to look like? They were white. The pyramids were white.
Right, and they've
with
like
a
aged.
gold top. And it, like,
Oh, really?
Somewhat gold, like very light, not much
Yeah,
gold.
yeah, yeah.
Gold top. And it would like, and that's what it looked like. It was like a white stones, which is like, it must have been the most beautiful thing in the world when it was made.
Oh, sure.
It still is gorgeous, and like
They
just
still are.
the mass of it is like amazing.
Especially, I mean, the history behind them now. Back then, it was like, look what we just finished building. This is incredible. Nowadays, it's like,
Ugh.
look at what they built 4,500 years ago, and it's still here, and we
Yeah.
can still see it and touch it.
I wonder what like. I think of conquerors that like came through the area later on. They're like taking down villages, whatever.
Oh
I
my
don't even
God.
know. They probably rolled up to the pyramids like, we can't touch this.
How are we
How
going
do
to destroy this?
It would take longer to destroy than it would take to make.
Like, they don't have like if we wanted to destroy the pyramids now, we probably could. Right?
We need
You
like
just
nukes though.
Yeah, you drop a nuke or something. No, but like back then they didn't have anything close to that.
Oh my God,
like,
no.
They're fighting with they're barely fighting with swords.
Yeah.
They barely have like sharpened metal.
So they're just like, they probably just walked by the pyramids and were like, all right, we'll leave that.
Yeah, we'll leave those. We'll kill and pillage the people, but we'll.
Yeah, I assume there was some killing and pillaging going on in that area because it's happened everywhere
Oh yeah,
across the entire globe.
when you think about stuff like that, the amount of, like, right now it's a pretty good time to be alive right now, I guess.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
There
true,
are
like,
obviously plenty of
it's
problems.
like Ukraine, maybe like Ukraine, Russia. That's
Right.
like the only war.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's still a good time to be alive, I guess, right now. There are definitely problems, of course. There always will be.
Yep.
You can't.
Inevitable.
Nothing will be
Thanos
perfect.
said it best. I am inevitable. Thanos is like destruction, you know.
He kind of had a good point, right?
Thanos had.
He had a
great
good
point.
idea. It's just he.
He was right. His answer was wrong.
His answer was wrong. He definitely had a good reason for what he did.
The thing
but
that
the way he went
ruined-
about it,
it
was
ruined
a little,
all the movies when I saw someone on Reddit post. You know, he killed half of civilization with the snap of a finger.
Yep.
Why didn't he double the resources? Once someone said that to me, I was like, that ruins everything. Because for a long time, I didn't have any other answers. I'm like, all right,
Right.
well, I get what he's trying to do, and like,
That is a
I get
good
it.
point. I guess
Why
that-
didn't he just double the resources?
That's a good point.
That does the same. It serves the same purpose.
The thing is, if you double the resources, the planet's still the same size. Well, you have more resources, but it's not like the Earth would get bigger, would it? I don't know.
What if you just doubled everything except for the people? If everything was
Yeah,
just
just
double
double
the
that.
size, if the proportions were all even, it's all the same.
I guess that's a good point. I don't know. I don't think Marvel thought into it that deep. They're just like, we
You
need
know,
a
well,
mo-
because the thing is, they made that story been made like a long time ago. You know, before you could everything was getting reddited. Like, you know, you just picked up the comic from the store,
Exactly.
you read it, you put it away, you talked to like maybe your 3 comic buddy friends, and that was the end of the story.
Exactly.
You couldn't like go on and like find every last bit of everything like everywhere. You can't
Yeah.
do like you can now.
Mhm.
Do you think so I'm kind of bouncing all over the place, but so now right now the world we live in, we have kind of unlimited knowledge, like at our fingertips. At
Yeah,
least unlimited in terms of
exactly.
like it would take you more than a lifetime to find everything on
Yeah.
the internet and find every fact or every piece of knowledge. Do you think that's a good thing or a bad thing that we have unlimited access to knowledge?
It's a good thing. It's both. It's hard. There's always two sides to everything.
Right.
It's good because even just 40 years ago, people in college, when you needed to write a paper, you needed to go to the library, you needed multiple books, you needed to read the stuff, you needed to know what you were talking about. But nowadays, you look up an article, and it's like...
The article is from a person that has already read those 40 books, and then they summarize it very nicely.
It's so condensed, and it's the important parts, kind of.
The takeaways.
Yeah, exactly. It's literally just like the key takeaways. It's just a summary of all that stuff. But it's also kind of a bad thing because it's like I feel like the quality of life genuinely would be better if we just didn't have like cell phones like this. Like like cell phones are good because you can get into contact with people if you're in trouble. But I'm talking about like the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd just be better if we didn't have that.
I think most of the issues stem from social media.
Social media is a tough one because it connects people in a lot of ways. You can meet very nice people through social media who you would never meet, who live near. They don't live near you. You have no way to talk to them. But it also is kind of a terrible thing because you meet a lot of people who are not that nice.
Yeah, and I just think because the internet, it's basically like having like a super library. In your hands, which is so valuable and so crazy,
of course,
and so important.
Because you can think of information, you can look up information that you need in a second. Like you think in your head, like, oh, I need to think like what I don't even know, like what's the capital of like say a country? I don't even know what's the capital.
Capital
of, like,
Arkansas.
Yeah, or like what's the capital of Brazil? And you're like back then you'd be like you have to ask a ton of people if they knew. But nowadays you just hey Siri.
Yeah.
You just talk to this thing. You just talk to this piece of glass and metal.
And then it's just like, oh, it's Brasilia.
Yep.
And you're like, yeah, it's okay. You're like, oh, now I know.
Exactly.
And immediate recall isn't so important that it's that you should go learn everything now. I think we kind of devalue what learning is and more value like, how do I find this information? What's the fastest way to find information nowadays? And I think, that serves its own purpose too. Like in school, like a lot of what we learn is like how fast can I look shit up?
Exactly.
Which is a very valuable resource now because we have all that. But, like, learning stuff, I think we've kind of we've hurt what expertise is. Like, expertise is for a long time, it's been such a cool thing. Like, you could just be an expert of something.
Yep.
And you're so valuable for being the expert, being the guy for everything.
Yep.
And nowadays, it's like... It's so much less valuable than it used to be. Like being like a blacksmith. I guess hand-to-hand things are really much more important.
Yeah, for
still
sure.
Nowadays.
Yeah, of course.
But like, if you are an astronomer, if you're Neil deGrasse Tyson, obviously he's super entertaining, so he has his value in that sense. But his value is as an entertainer. It's not as an astronomer.
It's not
because we can look that shit up if we felt like it. It's just you present it pretty good.
Yes. And
if he didn't present it good, he would not be famous like every other astronomer.
Exactly, right?
So
that's why all the astronomers...
I just thought of that. His value is as an entertainer.
It is, because he takes the information of like astronomy, but he turns it into something that the average Joe can just listen to and like kind of understand.
Yeah.
But like an astronomer who's not like very... closed behind the scenes, closed doors.
Yeah.
They don't have that like kind of charisma, I guess, that he has, and like
Correct.
And if they were to talk to someone about astronomy, they'd be like, the listener would be like, I don't know what the hell.
I'd
this
rather
guy's
look
saying.
it up. I'd rather look it up.
Like, I don't want to listen to this guy.
I would much rather listen to Neil in order of things. I'd listen to Neil deGrasse Tyson first, look it up second, listen to another astronomer third.
Yeah.
That's probably my order.
Exactly.
Maybe like Bill Nye knows some shit, but he's not an astronomer.
No, he's an entertainer as well.
But he's an entertainer too, exactly.
Exactly. We grew up watching him in science class.
Correct.
Like when we watched Bill Nye, we weren't like we weren't watching him to like we were watching him to learn. That's what the teachers, they'd put him on and be like, all right, you're going to learn about this certain subject. But it wasn't like we were looking at it. We were very invested, taking notes. Like we'd watch it. It would be a fun thing. Like you'd be excited to listen to Bill Nye.
Learning was the fringe benefit.
Yeah, exactly. But like, you were learning something. It felt like you were learning something, but you also were getting entertained. Like it was good. Like school is obviously like, school's kind of boring, right? Not everyone thinks that, but a lot of people think school's boring. And when Bill Nye would come on, everyone, even the kids who would like slack off, not pay attention, they'd even be like, "Oh shit, let's watch Bill Nye.
Let's watch some Bill Nye because it's fun."
Yeah.
You know, even it's more fun than doing nothing. It's more,
Exactly.
Whereas school sometimes it feels like it's like almost taxing.
Exactly.
It's more work than nothing. I feel like the whole key is just making. Are you better or worse than nothing? And you can be worse than nothing very easily.
Yeah.
So you got to find ways to actually add value to the time, and not even just. And you can just obviously teaching someone like lecturing. You lose a lot of people that way too, because even that is so boring. Even though it's so valuable, all the information you learn, it's so boring that it is worse than doing nothing. So I'd rather just tune out and just be like, all right, screw.
Yep.
But if you're entertaining, that's kind of. So again, we kind of get back to it's kind of what podcasts are. It's like they're just entertaining.
They are.
And you're being entertained and you're having fun. And we all have this deep-seated need to learn things. We all like to learn.
We all do, yeah. We all like to broaden our knowledge, of course.
Of course. So,
and it's not even just like
Right.
you sometimes you like to show off that knowledge, kind of.
Totally.
Not a lot. I mean, not like to be. You don't want to be. Some people do, but you don't want to be like pompous about it. You don't want to be like think you're the man. But like sometimes in some situations when someone asks a question, like you're around a group of friends or just people, and they bring something up and you're like, oh, I know that. Like I could like, and you could explain something to them. Like you know about that subject.
People love being a source of knowledge. You know?
Exactly. Yep.
That's what like wisdom is. That's what being wise is. If you know things.
Yeah.
Or if you're cultured in a lot of ways too. It's like if you just know a lot about like what's happening now, what's happened before, how it relates.
Yep.
I just even unique shit like that. Like maybe it's hard to find on the internet. You know what I realize? It can be hard. Okay, actually, I'm connecting dots as we speak. So as you said earlier, as we kind of were talking about earlier, you can look up an article, gives you all the key takeaways.
Yep.
I said, yeah, because the person that has written the article has read the 40 books, and now you've gotten the key takeaways. Some of the minutiae in between, where experts had their value, now is not so necessary because everyone has all the other information. Like they have the important stuff. But sometimes you do need that minutia. Sometimes you need the stuff you can't find.
For sure.
And the hardest thing on the internet can be even knowing what to search in the first place. Like a lot of times I'd have a question, especially making this podcast. Like I'd have a question like, see this adapter right here? This is a USB to USB-C adapter. I didn't know that. I didn't know what these were called. I knew this was USB.
Yeah.
I didn't know what this was.
Yeah, because that one's newer.
It's newer. It's USB-C, I guess. I had to find that out. I was like, Mac to headphone to USB adapter, and then like they'd show me like a Mac with a USB, and I'm like, no, that's not what I need. I need this, and you just work your way down to finding that. So I feel like if you are the guy, like I know that now instantly, someone can come and ask me, hey, how'd you start your podcast? I can fast track them with that stuff so easily, and if you're that source of knowledge in any field, in anything, you just you have value, you know, and having value, that's really like our purpose in our day-to-day life, at least. What is your value? Like, what do you add? You know, what is your area of expertise?
What do you bring to the table?
Yeah. What do you think you know most about, actually?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough question. It sounds maybe cliche or a little stupid, but maybe sports, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. What sport, though?
Maybe football.
No,
American football.
Yeah.
A little gridiron.
Little gridiron. I think my value is definitely basketball, so I don't think that's stupid at all. I think maybe a little. I mean, cliche. It's definitely normal. It's very. It's a common one.
Yes, common. That's a better.
Yeah,
that's better
common.
than
Nothing bad about it though.
Yeah.
Like if it's common for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, like everybody does that for a reason. It's so sports very entertaining.
Yeah, very.
You know, I like to think of myself like almost like an encyclopedia of basketball. Any question you got, I got you. You know. But there's people with way more expertise than me even, and like,
of
but
course.
That's another thing that makes me think with the phones. Like, I'd have a really hard time saying like we'd be better off without it, because sometimes I'm just like, all right, what did he average that season? Then I find it, I'm like, oh wow, that's amazing.
They are a tough thing.
You go watch this YouTube video from the highlights of like Michael Jordan's flu game. Like, how cool is that? We just have all that. Our parents never had that shit.
No,
they never had that.
The thing is, it's like YouTube, like the internet in general, is great because it's like right now we think it's such a great thing to have. You couldn't imagine life without it, per se. Like, there's so many great things, like, oh, I can play video games with my friends. They're fun. They're entertaining. I can watch YouTube with my friends. I can watch YouTube by myself and still be entertained. But
Right.
if it just never existed, I still think we'd be fine. You know what I mean? Like if it just never existed, like the people, like my dad, my mom, like they grew up, they still had a great time in their youth and
Yeah, they
just
were
in
chilling.
life
Yeah.
without that. Like you don't need it, but it is still nice to have in ways.
You didn't need it before it happened, but we definitely need it now that we've had it. I
Yeah.
think it would be very hard to take it away.
Oh, for sure. You
You-
can't go back now.
Can't go
we're,
back.
We're down the rabbit hole.
Yeah, and I just wonder, but at what point do we start saying like, hey, you have to be 16 to use the internet?
Yeah. I think that's a good idea. The only thing is enforcement of that. How are you going to do it? Like, I think you shouldn't be able to use the internet until you're, this sounds nuts, but probably 18 years old. Like, until you're an adult. Because you definitely need to learn how to do these things that the internet replaces. Like, a lot of
Yeah.
these kids nowadays don't know how to, it's not that they don't know how, but, like, they don't know how to legitimately read a book. Because they're, like, you can just hear it.
Right?
Your phone's just going to talk to you.
I think the biggest thing you have to develop is your ability to speak to people. You shouldn't be, because, some people live behind their phones and they text all day, and they're really good at texting.
Yeah, and then when they come in contact with a person,
They're
like,
like,
they don't know what the fuck to say. And I'm kind of like that. Like, I can... no, like, seriously. Like, I was born in 2001.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
internet was just starting.
Yeah, it's true. I
I
think I got my first phone 6th grade, 7th grade.
I think mine was 7th. Maybe... I think it was 7th, because my parents kind of wanted me to have one, because I would walk...
Yeah, I walked home too.
I wouldn't walk home. I would walk... Me and a group of people would... My friends would always walk. Every Wednesday and Friday would go walk from school down the street. Decent... Probably a 20-minute walk. 25-minute
Get some
walk.
food.
Get some food. Play basketball. That's the big thing. We'd go to the
Word.
basketball courts
Love hoop.
in town. Play basketball for a while, and then would get food afterwards maybe. And
Right.
they wanted me to, stay in touch with them.
Had to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is, back in the day, that wasn't around, but a lot of people were still fine.
Nah,
Like,
'cause,
my parents
like,
would walk around.
They'd wake up in the morning. Hey, Mom and Dad, I'm going out. You had to be good too. You had to know your shit. Because you
Exactly.
go out, you'd be like, all right, get out of school around 2:30. I'm gonna be gone. I'm probably gonna go eat for about an hour. I'll play hoop for about an hour
Yep.
after. Take me another half hour to get home. I'll probably be home in 3 hours after school today.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
You can't just type in Google Maps like, I wonder this is going to tell me exactly what time I'm
You had
going
to
get
kind of
back.
guess. You had to know. You had to be
Yep.
very street smart. You had to be good with estimating.
You
You had
definitely had to
to
be street
give
smart,
yourself
for
some
sure.
time on every end. Like, all right, like I should be home 3 hours the latest, and that meant you had to be home 3
Yes.
hours later.
And
My
if you
dad.
weren't, your parents would be like kind of worried. They'd be starting to get pissed. And
Yep.
you'd come home and they'd be like, what the fuck?
And you know what they'd do? They had no way to contact you. Say you're home. Say it's 45 minutes past the 3 hours you said. And they look around. Hey, they go to their neighbor's house. Knock on the door. Hey, have you seen my kid? No, haven't seen him. Hey, is your kid at home? Yeah. Let me get him. Timmy comes down.
Mhm.
You talk to the kid. And you're like, did you see my son? And they're like, yes, I did, actually. We just got done playing basketball. He said he was going to go get some more food. And he actually wanted me to tell you he'd be back an hour late. I'm sorry, Miss O'Donovan.
Mhm.
What a conversation that we've never had in our lives.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yep.
Like, and you're like responsible for all these, for yourself,
Yeah.
for other people. Like, it's just like my dad and my mom started dating when they were like 18 years old.
Okay.
No phones yet. So
No.
my dad literally probably said, I'll pick you up in 2 days on Friday. I'll pick you up at 8. And they just on good faith, he just picked her up.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, like
what?
Yeah.
No, think of how many times you text somebody, like, just to make sure, like, let me make sure, I'm on my way,
like-
I'm almost there,
Yep.
I'm here, I'm outside.
When I got here,
You said here.
I was like,
You don't come
you were
knock.
you were like, text me when you're
I
here.
said text me, that's what we do now.
Yep.
It's how it works.
Mhm.
Back then, nope, you just picked times, and everyone was sniping.
Yep. It's crazy to think about, and that wasn't even that long ago.
No.
It was like 40 years ago, 30 years
Yeah,
ago.
straight up. Crazy. And I did a little knocking on doors. I remember I used to walk to my friend's house before we had phones. Walk to my friend's
Well,
house,
yeah,
knock
of
on the
course.
door. That's over though now. That's
Yeah.
over now.
Oh, it's over now for sure.
That's over. We had the last bit. We had the last
Yep.
little
We were
maybe.
holding on to the last.
And some
little
kids
string.
didn't do it. Some
Yep.
kids never went for it. If you were smart, or if your parents force you to, we had that last little bit of like normalcy.
Yeah, I agree.
And now tech is definitely taking over.
It's just insane.
You get your
Tech
phone
is
when you're
massive.
5. You get your phone when you're 5, 6 years old now.
When I see like kids who are very, very young, like 5 years old, maybe even younger, and they have an iPad and they're like playing games, and I'm like thinking to about the parents, and I'm like, you guys shouldn't give this kid this device.
I think they don't get it. I think because those parents, like we're seeing, like those parents with young kids right now, probably like late 30s. They didn't grow up with it. 30s.
No.
So they don't understand. Like we understand kind of the dangers of growing up with it.
I wouldn't give my kid like a device like that until he's like 18.
I don't think we're alone. I think a lot of people our age are going to think the same thing. And when we get to that age of like when our generation's having a lot of kids,
yep.
I think we're going to see, or within our 5-year age gap is getting a lot of kids, I think we're going to see a lot of kids not getting phones. No. I think us as parents together are going to make it a decision to be like, it's bad to give your kid a phone because we know what that means.
It's not so much
35-year-olds.
It's not so much the phone; it's the smartphone
and
everything that comes with it.
Right.
Like sure. I'll give my kid. I'll probably give my kid like a flip phone. He's like 13, 14 years old. I'll give him that until he's like 18, graduates from high school, and I'll be like, okay, now you can have a smartphone. You're going off to college.
Yeah.
It'll make it easier for you. Take this. You're better off having this now than you were just starting high school. You don't need a smartphone in high school.
You don't need a smartphone like for a very long. Honestly, if you just had a phone, the only thing that fucks me up with the smartphone, I think, honestly, it's just social media for me because I want the internet. I want music. I want Spotify.
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Music on demand.
Music on. Oh, come on.
Play whatever song you want in the entire world.
That's never been
play
a thing.
It. No.
That's never been a thing.
like I was saying to my dad one time, it was like, because I've told you before, my favorite type of music is like 70s, 60s kind of. I mean, I like music. I still like music nowadays, of course, but I'm not.
Would you say psychedelic rock type of vibe? Is it your type of vibe?
I like that. I like hard rock too.
Hard rock
from the 70s and the 60s.
Good shit.
But I also listen to music nowadays, but I'm not like one of the people nowadays who's like looking online for release dates of things that are coming out every week and I want to listen to it.
Right.
But I'm like, Dad, you grew up, your generation grew up with like the best music, in my opinion. Like great music, like groundbreaking music, like the Beatles doing something that's never been done before.
Every album.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you had the greatest music coming out in your period and everyone was listening to it. It was mainstream, that's great. But you had to go to the album store, wait in line, buy it. Maybe they sold out by the time you got to the register. Now I can literally just pull up any song from any time in history for the most part and just play it immediately. No delay.
There's nothing more worth the money than, first of all, my iPhone. But also, there's nothing more worth the money than Spotify. Or Apple Music, whatever.
For sure.
Whatever
just a music streaming service.
Whatever you use for streaming music, there's nothing more worth it in the world by a long shot. Like, it's so worth every penny. It is,
because music's great.
It's so good. And I'd be buying multiple albums every month.
Takes up space.
Easily.
Takes up a lot of space. Takes up a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
$5 a month, or what's Spotify?
For students, like $5.
Yeah.
For students, like $5.
They raised the price a little bit. It's $6.
Spotify might be a little more than that. Once you get out, it'll probably be even like $10 a month, whatever. Who cares?
That's it.
That's nothing. For all of music in the history of existence.
Yes. And you can play it at any time.
Except for Neil Young, if you're on Spotify, because he took his shit off.
That's right. I don't. Yeah.
And I like Neil Young.
I do too.
I was pissed.
It's like, why do you? Like, I get what he's doing. He doesn't want to be involved with Spotify because of the whole Joe Rogan thing. Blah blah blah. But it's like, I understand you're kind of like hurting the company Spotify, but you're taking away. Yeah. They're just Joe Rogan. He makes so much money for them.
Yeah.
Neil Young.
It's not even close.
He probably makes. Joe Rogan probably makes, I don't even know, this is a guess, probably like quadruple the amount of money for Spotify than Neil Young has.
Than Neil Young has total.
Yeah,
and
probably.
Joe Rogan has already made quadruple that, if not more.
You're not hurting Spotify, you're hurting your own fans. Like, how do you not see that? Like,
yeah,
your
it's
own
really,
fans.
you gotta think about your own fans. I think of 2 words: grow up.
Yeah,
like just
right?
grow up.
You
think differently.
Yeah, like
this guy. This
guy's talking about things that aren't really hurting anybody.
Yeah, and even if you think it is, Grow up.
Yeah, like, so what? You're like
Grow
70
up.
years old, man. Like,
It's
just
over. It's over.
like,
What are you gonna
what?
do about that?
Yeah.
All right, Mike. Actually, you know what? You know what we're gonna do? So, how much do you know about football? How much do you feel like you know about football?
Pretty good amount. Good amount about football.
You know what we'll do? We'll give it. We'll wrap up with some football talk. Actually,
All right, sounds good.
because I haven't been able to talk.
Football's coming back.
It's coming back
This
and
week.
It's
Preseason starts.
preseason starts on Thursday.
Yes, I don't know who's playing.
Patriots,
that's not
Giants.
It.
Pats, Giants.
Okay.
Preseason Thursday. I mean, preseason hadn't happened last week. Jaguars and Jaguars played
The Raiders.
Raiders.
And the Raiders.
Josh
smoked them.
Jacobs looked good.
The Raiders
by the way.
smoked them. I'm pretty
Yes,
sure.
they did.
I watched that in and out. I was kind of.
I only watched the first quarter or two.
Yeah,
Josh Jacobs looked
I
good,
was
and
kind of
stopped
in and
watching.
out. I wasn't really because preseason to me, I love football. Don't get me wrong; it's a favorite sport to watch. I love,
Yeah.
but it's the preseason. It's not that interesting. They're not really tackling hard.
Nope.
It's like it's not that. The starters
I
aren't
hate
out.
seeing guys go down in the preseason too.
That's brutal.
So that pisses me off.
It's brutal.
Honestly, I think we should just kind of get rid of it, and let the teams set up scrimmages.
Yeah,
I think that's a much more fun, organic. You could have like only people recording with their iPhones. It'd be such an
Yeah.
organic experience. I
it
think
would be.
I've thought of that for a while now. I've been dying to like maybe like I don't even know, just speak it into existence somehow.
Yep.
But whatever. Anyway, would you consider yourself like a football fan, fantasy football, or like Patriots specifically?
Football.
Just all football.
Just football.
Just the
like I will
ball.
watch probably every game of the NFL season if I'm not busy.
Yeah, every game you
If
can
I'm
watch.
not busy, like if I have plans with someone, of course,
Yeah.
I'll do those things. But if
Sunday,
I'm
too,
if I'm
though.
home on Sunday, there's usually nothing going on Sunday.
Yeah, it's
especially
God's
in
day.
the fall and winter. Golf's not really
Right.
golf. Ends right as football starts, kind of. There's
Yeah.
a little overlap.
Yeah,
But-
but like you don't need to be golfing.
No,
every
you
Sunday.
really
You
don't.
can just golf on Saturday.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
football
and it's
season
probably
going
less
on.
busy on Saturday.
It is, yeah.
But yeah,
Slightly.
Sunday I'll literally turn on Red Zone, NFL Red Zone.
The best.
7 hours of uninterrupted football, no commercials. I'll watch all of it. Then I'll watch Sunday night football, Monday night football. Then Thursday comes. Like, football for me, it makes time go by so quick because it makes the
does.
weeks feel very short. Because football is on Sunday and Monday. Those 2 days go by quick. Tuesday, Wednesday, no football. Then you're at work or in school Thursday. You like football's at the end of the day.
Getting
You
giddy.
watch football, and then that's basically the start of the weekend. Then you have Friday.
Friday doesn't count.
You don't really need to watch football on Friday because you can just have friends,
Saturday too.
have plans Saturday as well. It makes time go by very quick.
I think they should get rid of the Monday night game personally, or because I love that Thursday night fan. I think Thursday is more important than Monday because some people don't work on Fridays nowadays. Like
Yep,
Friday,
work
it's almost,
from home,
we're big on the
too.
3-day weekend
We
nowadays.
are.
5
5-day week, 9 to 5 is out the window.
Right, so
It's
I think
like-
the 3-day weekend's the wave, and
Yep.
I think Friday would be the day, not Monday. I just feel like 3 days of football. I don't know. Whatever. That's a whole different thought, though.
Mhm.
But what are some outlooks for this season? What are your thoughts? Just initial broad thoughts, maybe like Super Bowl, early picks,
Mhm.
Patriots outlooks.
Right.
What do you think?
Okay, Patriots, they're fucked. No, I don't. I don't think the Patriots are going to be that great. I mean, I
Right.
love the Patriots, of course.
Hmm.
I mean, they're my favorite sports team,
Yeah.
probably. But it's like I don't think that they're going to do a lot.
Mhm.
They're not that great. Their roster isn't like the Bills just surpassed the Patriots in the past 2 years by
Yes,
a
they did.
lot.
Yes, they did.
The Bills are great.
Great
I
team.
don't like them, but
No.
they're a great team. You can't deny that they're a great football team.
It's correct.
Their fans are great too, but Patriots, I don't expect a lot. I maybe make the playoffs. I don't know. I'd rather them not make the playoffs and not get annihilated like they did last year.
Yeah, that was embarrassing. Tough go.
Yeah, but Super Bowl, I don't know. It's tough. I think the Rams obviously are in great shape. They
Real
won
good
last year.
chance to
I think
repeat.
the Bengals are a team that I would like to see win because I wanted them to win last year over the Rams, but I don't know if they can get back.
I think the Bills got them
The
this year.
Bills might
Because I think the
have them.
Bills got the Chiefs this year.
The Chiefs,
Chiefs losing Tyreek is
that's big,
huge.
very big. Travis Kelce's great, of course, still.
Yeah, amazing.
great, best tight end in the league probably, especially now
Yeah.
with Gronk's on the, he's on the way out.
I might say Kittle because he blocks better.
Kittle, maybe, yeah, for sure.
But there's no one else even close. So
Right
Pitts
now,
will be. Pitts will be. I'm telling
Pitts
you.
could be.
Pitts is gonna be.
He's on kind of a
ridiculous.
shit team. That's the only thing.
I know. Maybe not this year. I'm not saying he will be this year. I'm saying like you give him some time.
Mm-hmm.
That kid,
For sure.
I've seen that kid.
He's
catch
an athlete.
He's
an
the
athlete.
best athlete at the position for sure.
And I'm not really like a
massive Pitts
insane fan of him, but I'm definitely rooting for him because I
Oh,
like Florida. He went to Florida.
Right.
I
Okay.
like the
right.
University of Florida.
So you were saying though, Travis Kelce's great, but
I don't think it's enough for the Chiefs to be that Super Bowl team that they have been the last 4 years.
right.
I don't think that they
I don't
are.
think so either. I think Tyreek Hill added an entire because
Oh,
what
'cause
good
you
is
couldn't
what good
cover
is
him.
Mahomes' arm if no one can? I mean,
Exact-
Mecole Hardman flies.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's fine.
Flies.
He's fine.
No one's Tyreek speed.
He's not Tyreek Hill skill wise. He might be
skill wise too, right?
He might be. He's not as fast, but he might be to be able to compete with them a little bit speed wise. But he's not Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill's like a freak athlete.
Really good. He can like really catch. Like people
Yeah.
forget how good of like Tyreek would be good without the speed. That's
Yeah.
how I know. That's like a really big. I
More
don't know,
shit.
crazy.
Yes.
That's like a really important compliment. It's kind of like what people said about Shaq when Shaq was on like the Magic. Back in the day, people said he'd be in the league if he wasn't 7'3". Like he was because he could pass. Shaq could
Yeah,
pass when he was
yeah.
younger, and he was fast, and he was just a dominant figure. Like he was strong. He didn't need to be 7'3" to be good.
No.
He would have made the league if he was 6'9"
Yes.
for sure. He was just good basketball player. Just everyone was so
Good
amazed
basketball
by
IQ.
Yeah, everyone was just so amazed by the size.
Yep.
He would have been maybe not same obviously,
No.
but he would have been like a
He still
16 and
would have
10
been a
guy
professional.
if he was 6'5", 6'10".
Yes. He still would have been a professional. For
Right.
Sure.
And I think the same thing can go for Tyreek Hill. You take away his speed, I think he's still in the league. Like even as like an Edelman type, because he can catch everything.
He can.
Tyreek Hill's
He has
hands are
good
the most
hands, very
underrated
good
thing
hands.
in like the league.
Yeah.
And I think, but the game breaking ability he has is obviously that ridiculous speed
Yeah.
that I've never seen in my life. Just walks past people. And I don't know if and so what good is having the arm that can chuck if you don't got the guy that can get there?
Yes.
So
Yep.
you might be really just because Mahomes will have the arm, but you might be eliminating a big
Yeah.
part of the field. Every defense goes from being so stretched to coming in a little, and now Mahomes hasn't seen that in a long time.
He has not.
He hasn't seen
He's
a
played
not
with him his
stretched
whole
field.
career.
So he's never seen. I mean, maybe the injuries. I don't know how many times he's been injured, but he hasn't seen that field.
Yep.
So I think everything's gonna shrink. He already had a little bit of a regression last year.
A little bit.
Mahomes. I think we could be in store for like a real shocker. I think they'll still make the playoffs, be good,
Yes.
but we might be shocked with how like out of the conversation they are for Super Bowl.
Yep.
And but yeah, the Dolphins got good too because they got them.
They're not bad. They're just one of those teams I don't really. I may just be because I'm biased because the Patriots, but
Right.
they're not a team you can really bet on to be like, I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to make playoffs and go far. It's not like
We'll find out week 1 because we play them week 1.
that's true.
So I
think
guess
that's
you'll get a better
it's
idea.
in Miami.
Yeah, we're
I think
fucked.
it is in Miami. We're fine.
We suck at it.
We always do. Dude, I went to the season opener last year. We played them in Foxborough and we lost.
Yeah, we suck against Miami.
We lost by 1 point. Or was it 1 point? It was something like that. It was like
We lost
less
a
than
lot
3
of close
points.
games.
I went
past 2
both of the
years.
Patriots games I went to last year. They lost by less than 3 points.
I think we were really. That's the stuff that makes me say, I think we could have a good year this year, because we were so close last year to a lot of games, and no, our offense didn't get much better, but hard to get worse. We couldn't get worse.
No,
Adding Devontae Parker helps, even if that little bit, it's still better than it was.
for sure.
I think Damian Harris for another year under his belt is good.
Yeah, he's
Although
good. He's a good
O
bet.
line I think is mostly together, and I think camaraderie is huge. Like chemistry with the O line is huge. Give Mac Jones, that's the most important piece. Another
Yes.
year, that's huge too.
I'm looking forward to his sophomore year. for
Me
sure.
too. I think that the offense has capability in that sense. The biggest issue, the saddest thing, was losing J.C. Jackson.
That's very big. But the thing is, he
Hurts.
wanted so much money that it was like, we can't afford this.
For
It's not
sure.
like
And we got, you know who I think is an underrated pickup we got? Landon Collins.
Yes.
We straight up have Landon Collins, and I am so excited to see
Yep.
what he does for us. I think he could be really good alongside Kyle Duggar. We still got
Yes.
McCourty. That three safety deep.
Yeah.
Over. No one's getting balls in there, and all three of them will
They're all
tackle
very
your
experienced.
ass. They will go
Kyle
get
Duggar
you.
not so much, but
But he is though.
McCourty and,
He's older.
Yeah, he is
He
now.
was,
But Collins and
He was like 25 when he was 24 when he got drafted. 23.
Yeah.
So he's got enough football.
we have the
under his
experience
belt.
in the secondary.
And in the end,
for sure.
Duggar, he's just a smart player, IQ, and he'll hit you. And I think that if you're a safety and you'll hit somebody, you're on my team. You're good with me. He's like Chung. Reminds me of Chung.
Yep.
And I think that we maybe not better than last year. I think we could do this. We could be the same team as last year. And I think it might be a little worse defensively, a little better offensively. And I just think we're about the same. But it'll probably be more palatable to watch. Because sometimes
I think so.
Last year I was like, what the fuck, guys?
There were
like,
some points where it was like
we gotta
miserable
move this
to
ball here,
watch.
please.
Yeah, it was
I think
obnoxious.
That should hopefully go away.
Josh McDaniels didn't let Mac throw down the field. That's
another thing. Josh McDaniels is out, and I don't think he's good for rookie Mac Jones. I don't know if he'd be great to have around to see Mac Jones progress.
I think
who do we got now?
We don't have an offensive coordinator.
Billy B. I don't trust Billy B calling the O plays. No cap.
You know who my sister told me? I don't know if this is true. I trust her.
They don't got Steve calling the plays.
I think, you know who's calling the plays for the offense right now? I'm not even kidding. This is what she said. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I trust her. Matt Patricia.
Matt Patricia's calling our offensive plays?
I think so. I think he might be. I'm not kidding.
Motherfucker. He probably, you know what he probably is thinking? He probably just thinks of the defense he'd play in that scenario and then calls the offense based on whatever defense he would play if he was the other team. So I guess you could do both, but and he's not the best defensive coordinator.
He used to be better, and he's kind of fallen off. He went to the Lions. He was the head coach. They fired him in a year.
Yeah.
They barely won a game.
So I guess he's probably calling it with extreme assistance from Bill Belichick. And is Bill calling the defense? Is Gerard Mayo still on our?
I think Gerard Mayo's still on the team.
He's still on our
I think he's still on the sideline.
coaching side. And we got Steve Belichick calling some of the plays.
Yeah, Steve.
Crazy.
With the mullet Steve.
Oh my god, that was crazy. Nutcase, which honestly, sick.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's funny. It makes me laugh. But yeah, I think we got a better chance than maybe some people would give us.
Yeah, but the only thing
10 wins, maybe.
I think
that'd be tough.
9. My guess is 9 wins.
Yeah.
The thing is, there's so much competition in the AFC right now.
I know.
It's tough. They were a great
team.
Stop. Even in our division, the Bills, great team, one of the best teams in the league. The Chargers now, excellent. The Raiders too. The Raiders.
Great. The Chiefs are great.
The Chiefs, of course.
I mean, who's to say we're better? To say we're better than the Steelers is probably wrong too. To say definitively we are better than that team.
The Steelers have a better defense. I mean, T.J. Watt's incredible. He finally won Defensive Player of the Year last year.
And our offense is not so good to where we can be like, our offense sucks, but it's not the worst in the league, but it's not good enough to be like, that makes up for not being as good as them on defense. So Steelers could be better than us. I don't even know. There's more teams too. Browns even.
Browns aren't bad.
If Deshaun plays.
If he plays, that whole situation's a little screwed up. I don't know what's going to go on there.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Fucking don't. I have no idea.
I don't know.
My opinion is probably way out of line.
I know. I'm like. I was
a little confused why he wasn't He wasn't convicted. He was not guilty, right? Am I wrong?
No, he was not.
He was not guilty.
No, I don't believe so.
So then.
It was just like a ton of allegations.
So then,
dozens or something.
But I feel like if you're not guilty, then how can you penalize them?
You can't. That's the thing.
But then they still gave him a 6-game suspension, and they want more. They're appealing. They want more.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do? Suspend a guy for 10 games for getting allegations? For being accused of something? I don't love that principle. I could give 6 games and be like, okay, hurts the brand.
Yeah,
being in those conversations.
Yep.
You can get 6 games for hurting the brand.
Mm-hmm.
But when you give him 10, it feels like they think he's guilty.
Yep.
And if the court didn't find him guilty, then who are you to play God?
Yeah,
Because it goes the same way the other way around. If he was guilty, I don't want them to be like, but we don't think he was. I don't want that to ever happen either.
Yep.
Where it should be 10 games and he gets 6, or it should be a whole season and he gets 10.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you got guys like Calvin Ridley got suspended an entire season
for betting
for gambling like $1,000.
Yeah, $1,000, $2,000. You bet $2,000.
It's legit, the guy sneezes on $1,000.
Yeah, right. It's insane.
So I feel like it just feels wrong. It feels wrong, one way or another. I don't know which way it is, but it's wrong. Something about that's wrong. The appeal process, them appealing it's kind of scummy, if you ask me, because they literally left it up to a judge. A judge said 6 games.
Yep.
I think it's scumbaggy to then appeal it if a judge said so. When they both the collective bargaining agreement between the players, the NFLPA and the NFL, they said they'd leave it up to the judge.
Right.
So to then appeal it, I'm like, okay, guys, grow up. The owners, grow up. Big on the grow up word. I think if enough people grew up, we'd be a much better society.
I heavily agree. That's a great way to end the episode.
That is a great way to end the episode.
I agree.
How long do you think it's been?
Up.
If you were to guess.
I think an hour and 53. That's my guess.
Hour 33.
Hour 33.
You're probably the first person to get maybe more than 5 minutes over.
Really?
In your guess. That's fascinating.
Wow.
Sometimes
it felt long because I looked at my phone a couple minutes ago and it's 7:15. Yeah. And I could have sworn we started at maybe 6. Not 6. I could have sworn we started at maybe 5:30. Well, no, maybe not.
Yeah. Maybe so I think you know what I think happened. I think you were going because you saw your phone a couple times. Yep. So maybe you were going based off like the numbers felt right.
Yeah.
I bet if you went off your gut, if you never looked at your phone, you probably have the same guess as everybody else. Like usually people guess either on the money, which is crazy, or like way lower. People will guess way lower.
I think it went by quick, but it did feel like we were here for a decent amount of time.
Yeah, we were. And we had that break in between too, which made it feel like almost 2% of the whole podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
But did you enjoy your experience?
This was great, honestly. It's been fun. First ever podcast I've been on.
Yeah, hey.
Definitely.
Hopefully it's not your last.
I would love to do it again.
Yeah, I'd love to have you
definitely back. Maybe have something to drink next time.
Yeah,
I could probably bring something.
Right.
Get a little buzz going.
Yeah,
open up a little bit more.
I could open up to you guys. Could finally open up to everybody. Well, thank you very much for coming on. I do a handshake
at the end of
every episode, actually.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
I appreciate it. It's been great.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
I appreciate anybody that's still here an hour 30 in.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
We applaud you.
We applaud you here at Access Communications. We applaud you. Thank you very much. Stay curious.